All right, coach. So you just told us about front end and back end, and you just gave us a gist about it. But for a fresher who's starting off and thinking about making a career in either of these fields, could you give us a little more detail about what these two are all about?
Sure. So basically, front end is for the user interface. So how the user is going to interact with your application. Okay, whatever he can see, whatever he can click and all. Okay, so for that, a front end developer needs to know the user experience. Okay, he doesn't necessarily need to know how to design that. That's fine. That the designer will do it. But if you have that capability, that also it's good. But it's not necessary to design to how the button will look, how the colors will happen, where to place what. That is a designer's job that you may or may not need to do. But that's not necessary. But what you need to do is code that exact UI into your application. Okay, because that UI isn't like he has given in some, let's say Adobe XD. He has just given that in, let's say, some kind of application, and you have to now code it out, and that look and feel of that website should be exactly how it is given to you. Okay, sometimes it will be very difficult, and it's mostly it involves CSS, how you style your app. Okay, so that is one part of the application. Then again, second is making it responsive. So the same application, it should look different in phones and it should look different in web. Okay, both have different, like phone, it's like just a rectangle, like vertical rectangle, right? And if you see in your laptop, it is way more area is there. So you need to spread out your different types of components in different places. And if it's in the mobile, you have to keep it vertically, and you have to put things in menus and stuff. So if you click in menu, then only you can see more options. So those things is what is responsiveness. Okay, then the other part is the integrating the backend APIs with the front end. So let's say if the user clicks, okay, then he needs to see some kind of feed. He needs to get some kind of feedback that the data is being loaded. Okay, because immediately if he clicks, he won't get the data. API will take some time to send back the data. So he needs to know that something is going on. Then so you need to show some either loading indicator, or if you see YouTube app, then if you open YouTube app, you will see that some grayish thing is happening. Like that all videos and thumbnail will be grayish. So there is no skeletons. So you need to show that part. Okay, that something is loading. It's not completely stuck. The user should know that okay, the app is working. So that's something that you need to take care of. Okay, then also processing the data, because sometimes the data that API sends is not in the proper way that the JavaScript can handle. Okay, JavaScript can receive the data in JSON. Most probably the data will be sent into JSON format, and you have to then convert it to relevant data structures which are present in JavaScript. So JavaScript has arrays and objects. Mostly these are the two things that you'll be using. So you need to convert the data into relevant data structures, and based on, like, if it's a list, then it has to be part of an array, and you have to map over the array and show all the data. So that's processing the data is what I'll tell that part. And apart from that, you should know different toolings like Webpack. So basically, if you want to process any frameworks code into browser understandable language, then you need to have some kind of transpilers or bundlers, what you get. That is more technical, but yeah, I'm just mentioning it. So you need to know how Webpack, you need to know transpilers like Babel. So how to work, how to configure your own app. So by default, if a fresher starts with a React application, then they usually do create React app. That is a npm package. They download it and they start with it. But in companies, you do not use that. You have to make your own configurations. You have to import all your libraries and you have to configure on your own. So that those configuration part also is part of a front end developer's job. So this is about all front end. Coming to back end, is has two primary things. One is the database, okay, and one is processing the data. So database, there are lots of options like MongoDB for NoSQL, and for SQL there is SQL and lots of stuff. And as I said, for languages there are Java, Node, Ruby, and lots of other languages. So first of all, you need to know which tool is required for your application. Okay, which language, which DB makes more sense. So that is something. And sometimes it's not just one. Sometimes it's different languages and different databases. For some kind of data, you might need Elasticsearch sort of database. For some kind, you would need SQL database. So sometimes a single application will have more than one databases. So that is there. So you need to know how SQL database work, how NoSQL database work, how you write queries in that, and how you and then there is something known as middlewares for databases. So the proper word would be ORMs, so object relation model. So what you do is you just call functions and send the data, And that middleware, that ORM will take care of entering the queries into the database. Usually how SQL works is you have to write insert into, and then you have to write all the things, or select from, and you have to write all the things. But if you don't want to do all that part, you just want to call functions and send the data, then ORM comes in picture. So so for MongoDB, Mongoose is an ORM. Okay, for Postgres, I guess type ORM. Yeah, type ORM is one of the ORM. So that is something that you need to know. So this is about database. Then you need to know how to handle routings. So thing is basically let's say if your user goes to your home page, so for home page there will be an API which will be like slash home. So that data you need to send when that request is coming. So you need to configure all that routes. You need to understand that when this route is coming, okay, when the client is requesting this route, I have to send this data. Okay, and then when he goes, let's say slash about page, then you need to know, okay, in slash about page, these are the two things that is required. So these are the two requests that will be coming from the front end. So that request you need to process. You need to, okay, you need to have a function for slash about, you need to have a function for slash home, and according to that function you have to write the code. Okay, so for home, this is the data I need to get from the database and send it to the front end. For about, this is the data I need to get from the database and send it to front end. Okay, and also for registering, like this is just sending data, and if processing data is also a part. So if the user registers, so he has a form, so you need to validate that data. Okay, validation will also be done in front end, but you also, before entering into database, you need to validate, because otherwise there will be security issues. Okay, they can do lots of CSS attacks, sorry, XSS attack, and there are lots of attacks that happens, SQL injections, and there are lots of attacks that happen. So you need to process the data properly. You need to see this in proper format. Let's say if it's a password, so the client side, the front end will validate that it has to have these characters and this much, but still you also need to validate it from your backend, because front end, your application is not the only way the user can interact. If some hacker knows what is the API, they can use other applications and directly try to attack your backend. So that time you also need to process that, okay, the password should be having this sort of limitations or validations, that the email has to be proper and those kind of things. So yeah, these are all the things that a front end and a back end developer needs to do.